is back for a guest appearance. He's now living in Detroit, Michigan. David, here's another familiar face.
Yeah, I used to introduce this character as Norm Lubow.
That's right.
Now I have to introduce him, and I love this one, as the Reverend Bud Green.
Oh.
And your what? Your religion of drugs?
Hey, he has this sicko cult, the religion of drugs.
It's not a cult, Wally, it's a religion. We use marijuana to worship God. Now, let me tell you. I am a reverend. I'm going to quote from the Bible here. Genesis 1:29.
Wait, before you do that, Reverend, who ordained you as a bona fide, legitimate, legal minister in this country?
God.
Oh, no, wait a minute. You've got to be ordained by some church to be a minister.
I don't buy that we need some piece of paper to be a reverend. The Lord ordained me and said, ye shall preach the knowledge of God.
Well, I say this. Hold on, pal. I say you are not a reverend. What you are is a disciple of Satan. That's what you are.
So, Wally.
Hey, this guy.
Wally, that's Ronald Reagan you're talking about. 666.
This monster is going to rot in the bowels of hell. What do you think?
All right, Wally, let me quote the Bible here. Genesis 1:29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth. That's marijuana, Wally. Herb-bearing
hold on.
seed, marijuana.
He said, all right, hold on. God said, I have given you every herb or every seed.
Yep.
He did not mean that you should take them all. He also,
He said every, that's what every means.
yes,
He didn't say anything about smoking it.
Well, you can eat it if you want.
Wait. He said that he put everything on the earth, and he did. He also put poison on the earth. He didn't tell us to take it.
Well, hey, Wally, did you know that most of what people consider poisonous plants are actually psychedelic plants? So it's a lie. There are no poisonous plants.
Hey, God is perfect. However, I think if he did make one mistake, it was putting him on this earth. Now, let me ask you, you've been on our show several times.
Yep. And we're getting bigger, Wally. Every year we get bigger.
You smoke, how many joints do you smoke per day?
Well, we're kind of like the Muslims. We like to worship at least 7 times a day.
And hey, Scott, give me a close-up of this guy's eyes. Give me a close-up. Now, everybody across America can see this guy is stoned out of his mind. Look at those eyes.
Wally, I'm not stoned. I'm knowledgeable.
He's knowledgeable, yeah.
Reverend, along with being knowledgeable, God also put water on the earth. Why don't you use some to wash with?
Yeah.
David, we do use water. We use bong water.
Bong water. All right,
I'm glad I don't know what bong water is.
Now this religion of drugs, are you trying to say that you have a church? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we meet down at Venice Beach usually.
You meet at Venice Beach,
yeah.
And what do you do? Hold on, guys. What do you do during your religious services, Reverend?
Well, what we do is, I preach the word of what's going on. I tell people about how corrupt the government is. We talk about how not only Bill Clinton is corrupt, but George Bush, Jerry Brown, they're all corrupt. It's time for a revolution in this country. That's what we talk about.
Revolution. So you're still promoting a revolution in America?
But non-violent revolution. It's right.
Yeah.
It's in the Declaration of Independence. When the government is not serving the aims of the people have the right to alter or abolish it.
Yeah. Hey, hold it.
It's time.
Hey, hold on, everybody. Hey, just think about it. This idiot running the country from the White House.
I tell you, Wally. Like I said, we're not in the violence, so we don't want to burn down the White House. We want to burn one in the White House.
Hold on.
Now, let me talk about my band.
No, wait a minute. I saw you on the Geraldo show, and Geraldo Rivera is an idiot, in my opinion. But at least Geraldo had the common sense to throw this bum off his show. Yeah.
You know what, Wally? Geraldo is very rude because he interrupted me in the middle of my prayer.
Oh, you were doing a prayer. Oh, hold on. I got it. Wait. I got to hear this. Do one of your prayers for us, Reverend. I got to hear this.
Oh,
Here's a prayer.
Wait till the end of the show, then I will.
No, I want to hear a prayer now. Give me one of your prayers.
All right, well, here's the prayer.
Quiet, please.
When we light up the Lord, this is what we say. We say, I want to thank the Lord for giving me the holy herb, which shows me the need to overthrow right-wing rich pigs like George Bush and Dan Brown.
Give me a
No, Wally. Let's talk about my band, because that's the way we preach. I have a rock band called Just Say Yes. That's the way we preach.
Can you imagine? He has a band called Just Say Yes. Wait a minute.
Now the reason.
Wait a minute. Hey, bud, we're gonna take a little break here, and then we're gonna come back and talk about your band and bring some of the band members out. I'll be right back. Stay where you are. Okay, everybody. Reverend Bud Green. All right. Now, David, you had a question for the Reverend?
I don't have a question. I just want to tell him I don't think he has much chance to run the country from the White House. More likely from the outhouse.
Yeah! Very good, David. Hey, speaking of that, would you please stand a little more downwind? It's really unbelievable.
What do you smell, Wally? What you smell is those killer buds I'm packing.
Now you got a band now, and you got a record album out. All right.
I just want to mention a few things. We've got a rally coming up at Miles Square Park on Sunday the 5th, a pro-marijuana rally in Fountain Valley.
Oh, I can hardly wait to go to that one, boy.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of your crowd's going to be there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, my crowd's going to be there with some Wally tranquilizers.
And I've also got a couple shows. You know, when my band plays, Wally, as you know, I throw marijuana to the crowd because being the Reverend Bud Green, I have the right to give my followers the holy sacrament.
No, you don't.
Marijuana.
It's against the law, especially to minors, you
It's
idiot.
not. It's legal for the Reverend Bud. We're going to be playing the Coconut Teaser on Sunday the 6th, and I'll be preaching at my new home, which is Raji's. Brother Casey is going to let me preach at Raji's.
You stop plugging your idiotic ridiculous on my program?
It's at 6160 Hollyweed Boulevard.
Hey, hold on, guys. Hey, give that address one more time.
6160 Hollyweed Boulevard.
Hey, attention!
I don't know.
Hey, attention!
Sunday the 12th.
Attention, Los Angeles narcotics officers, write that address down and be there. Okay.
All right, Wally, I wanted to give you a present of some tapes I've got here. This is my tape.
Get a close-up of that if you can.
As you can see, I'm spanking Nancy Reagan on the cover.
That's it.
And this is the Mentors tape. There you go, Wally. Hey, Wally. Wally. That'll be $6.99.
Oh, $6.99, yeah. Hey, what is the name of this stupid album?
It's called Puffin' the Lord.
Puffin' the Lord. You are so blasphemous. You know, it is just.
Now, Wally, I want to bring out some band members now, if I can. I want to bring out some band members
hold on,
here.
he's going to bring out some of his sick band members here. All right. Who's this?
This is our bass player.
Come on down here.
This is our bass player, Stan Samia. We've got Sister Mary Jane. And this is Adolf George Bush, better known.
Oh!
He's my drummer. His name is Bong.
Hold on.
James Bong.
You will not disgrace the President of the United States by doing that, you idiot!
Kyle Bush!
They're on glue. Hey, how many people think they're all stoned out of their minds?
Wally.
Put it back, Wally. Put it back.
Wally.
Okay,
Before I go.
You will not defame the president.
Wally.
Hold down.
Before I go, because I know you're going to kick me off just like Geraldo did, I want to show people how we worship the Lord. Everybody?
Quiet down, guys. On Saturday night, 11 until 12 midnight, it's Hot Seat, and of course at various times on the network and all around the world on the international satellite. All right, now we're going to bring on two real morons. They are here to promote more looting and rioting. They want to burn down America. Hold it. This is the Reverend Bud Green and El Duce. Bring them out here. Hold down. Quiet in the audience. Quiet in the audience. Quiet in the audience. Now, hold down, guys. Now, Reverend Bud Green of the Religion of Drugs. And this idiotic hooded monster, El Duce, right here. If you could see his ugly face, you'd know why he put a hood over it. If we showed his real face on television, I would be fined by the FCC for indecency.
How about your bald spot?
Now, wait a minute. Hey, Bud, I see that you walked out on stage holding a joint in your hand.
He's growing up in the world.
May I say, Bud, hold it. You are now under citizen's arrest. What do you think?
Hey, Wally, that wasn't a joint I was holding. That was the sacrament of the Lord.
This moron makes Charles Manson look like a saint. You know what, Reverend Bud Green? I've said a lot of things about you over the past years. I'm surprised that this idiot is still walking the streets. I thought years ago he'd be locked up in the same cell with Manson.
Wally.
Lock him up! 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 Lock him up!
Wally. All right, Wally.
Okay.
Hey, how about
Wally? I've done better than hook up with Charles Manson. I've hooked up with El Duce.
All right, now hold on. Never mind that stupid stuff.
Hey, tell them about what we did at the liquor store with Towelhead.
Wait a minute. Now, hold down the audience. Now, the reason you guys are here, I'm not going to talk about your stupid religion and drugs right now. You are here. I am so incensed. I saw you on a national television show, and you are saying, believe it or not, these guys are promoting more looting and riots in America. Are you trying to hold it down the audience? Hey, unless we keep it in the hold it down the audience, I'm going to have to clear out the audience. We got to keep it down here. Okay. Now let me say, hey, and you just shut up, Duce.
Listen, redneck.
Hey, just
Looted the rock shop. Loot, 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 loot.
Hey, Duce, just pretend like you're back at your pigsty and having a good time, okay? Now let me ask you this. Now, Bud, are you trying to tell me that you want to promote more rioting and looting in America?
We do, Wally, because it wasn't a riot, it was a rebellion by the poor people against rich pigs like you.
Wait, what do you mean it wasn't a riot? Do you mean to say that you condone what happened, the burning down of homes and buildings and stores, the looting, and
Police brutality.
And how about the people who were killed?
Who cares?
Wait. Let me get this so you people at home can know the scum these people are. When I said, in case you missed that, when I said, what about all the people who were killed, this scumbag Duce said, who cares?
All right. Wally. All right. The Wally.
No, wait. I care, and this guy is out of here. Now this idiot is not going to sit on my show and say, who cares, when I ask him about the hundreds of people, innocent victims who were killed. I'll tell you who cares. All of us care, right? I say, hey, what I say, Bud Green, is who the hell cares about you and your scummy people?
I'll tell you. That's right. The real people care, Wally.
Hugs, not drugs.
The skit. I'll tell you who cares,
Hey,
Wally.
hey, that was a good line out there. Hugs, not drugs. Yeah. I like it. Very good. Very good. Let him talk. Okay.
I got a better one, Wally.
Hold down the audio. Let him talk. Go ahead.
I got a better one. Bongs, not bombs.
Oh.
All right, stop it right.
Now let me ask something.
Yeah.
Hold it down. Do you really approve of the kind of abominable things that happen, the looting of stores? Why do you say looting is good in America?
I'll tell you why looting's good. It's the poor people taking what the rich people have stolen from them back.
Oh, no.
In fact, Wally, we've created an organization. We've created an organization called Looters to defend the looters. It stands for left-wingers overthrowing our totalitarian economic redistribution system. Looters.
Now, what you're saying is that all the looting that went on, you approved of in downtown Los Angeles.
Definitely.
Oh! Let me me ask you.
Wally?
Let me ask you, Bud. No, let me ask you a question, Bud. Did you or any of your friends take part in the rioting and looting in Los Angeles?
I'll take the Fifth Amendment on that one.
Tell me the truth. Did you do any looting in downtown Los Angeles? Did you? And remember, the LAPD is watching right now. Did you take part? Did you take part in any of the looting?
Well, I did take some rolling papers.
What about, Bud? What about Reginald Denny, who was almost beaten to death? Do you approve of that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't approve of them grabbing an innocent motorist. What they should have done is pulled a cop out of a car and beat him. Let the LAPD know.
Hold it. You know what I wish? I wish someone would pull him out of the car and beat him up. I'll be right back.
Now.
Thank you so much. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey, you know what? We have the best studio audiences in television right here. I want to say, hey, let me say this. Last week you may have heard me on the Last week you may have heard me on the Howard Stern show. As you know, I do not agree with anything Howard Stern says. He is a disgrace on the air, but I will give him credit. He gave me 30 minutes of national time, and I thank him for that. So that's the end. Okay. All right, now we go on, and we have this total moron, Bud Green here.
Reverend Bud Green.
Reverend Bud. Can you believe that this guy, hey, this guy calls himself a reverend? Can you believe that?
Wally?
Hey, hold on.
Wally, I'm going to quote from the Bible.
Wait a minute, this is one reverend who's going to burn his buns in hell.
Hey, Wally.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to quote from the Bible here. All you people in TV land can follow along. Revelations 9:3. God has given us every living thing for meat, even as the green herb have I given you all things.
He wasn't talking about drugs, you idiot.
Green herb, green herb.
Oh, just shut up. This guy is a blasphemous fool, isn't he? Now you told
Wally.
Oh, wait. I'm talking. It's my show, you nitwit. I asked a question. Now I heard you say that you want to burn down America and destroy this country.
Wally, you didn't get it. Wally, you didn't get it quite right. We don't want to burn down the White House. We want to burn one in the White House.
Oh. You see, let me tell you something. It's people like you. Now, you know, this show is seen all over the world. And there's people in Australia and Canada and New Zealand and England and Germany. And give me a close-up of this guy here. For all the... Let me tell the people around the world who are watching us that this guy does not represent the majority of Americans.
Well, you know what, Wally? I represent the majority of the youth of America. That's what I represent.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He just made a very rash statement. I'm going to find out right now from my audience. He says that he represents the youth of America. Now, wait a minute. of you in this audience think he does not represent the youth of America? All right, there you go, bud. What he represents is the young and old perverts of America. I mean, people like him should be locked up for the rest of their lives. All right, now let's get back to the riots here now. Hold it down. Hold it. Oh, hold it down, guys. Quiet in the audience. Shh. Quiet in the audience, or we're going to have to remove some people here. Now, guards, please keep an eye on the audience here, okay? And remove the ones who do not comply when I ask to hold it down. Okay. Now, you have the audacity, after watching all of this sickening and disgusting video footage of buildings being burned down. Do you realize, Bud, you're defending these riots and all the looting. Do you realize that innocent families were burned out of their homes, workers were burned out of their stores and businesses so they now have no jobs, innocent women and children were murdered, and this idiot says that was okay. Okay. Go ahead.
What I want to know is how come conservatives like you give a lot of lip service after this riot? How come you didn't care about these people before the riot? I've been standing up to them before the riot.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Yeah. He's been thinking about these people before the riots. He's been down there passing out drugs to all those people. You've really been thinking about them, but hey,
I don't give out drugs, Wally. I give out the sacrament of the Lord, marijuana.
That's drugs. That's drugs. Hey, how many magic mushrooms have you downed today, my friend?
I didn't, as these kids know, the mushrooms are pretty scarce.
They're not kids, they're young Americans.
Well, they know, Wally, the mushrooms are pretty scarce right now, so I had to take some vitamin L instead.
Oh, vitamin L, yeah. Quaaludes, is that what you're talking about?
No, LSD, Wally.
He takes LSD. Okay. Now we know his problem. His brain is completely scorched. All right, now, hold it down. Now, let me ask you a serious question. What do you think? There are people down in the gang-infested areas of Los Angeles who are saying that these 4 thugs who pulled Reginald Denny from his truck and beat him almost to death, some of these people are saying that these 4 men who are now under arrest were not thugs, they were heroes and revolutionaries. Now, let me get your opinion. Do you believe that those 4 men who did that to Denny were heroes and revolutionaries?
Well, I tell you what, they're not as bad as people made them out to look, but I'm telling you something true.
Wait a minute, they're not as bad?
The 4 pigs that beat up Rodney King are much worse than the 4 guys that beat up Reginald Denny.
No, they're not. Hey, Reginald, wait a minute. Reginald Denny was beaten a hell of a lot worse than Rodney King was, and I say the four animals who beat Rodney King like that should spend the rest of their lives behind bars. I'll be right back. Okay, thank you very much. Hey, once again, we want to welcome all the great graduates from Kennedy High right here. These are part of the great future leaders of America right here. Okay. Now, everybody settle down in the audience, please, at home, because we have to let wherever you are watching this show across the nation, remember, if you're visiting here in Southern California during the summer, or if you live here in Southern California, we want to invite you to come down and be members of my studio audience. We tape the show every Wednesday evening at about 6 p.m. here in Anaheim, California, about a block from Disneyland, at our home base studio, KDOC TV, Channel 56. And we want to invite you to come on, and we tape it every Wednesday at 6 p.m., play it back on the air the following Saturday night, 11 to 12 midnight here in Southern California, and at various times all across this country on Channel America and around the world on the Channel America International Satellite. So if you want to come down here, here's our telephone number. You can call right now. We have our hot seat operator standing by right now at this moment. You can call the number on your screen, give your name, your telephone number, tell the operator how many tickets you want. The tickets are free. And we'll invite you to come down here for to be members of my studio audience. Area code 714-772-7600. Call right now, area code 714-772-7600 for your free hot seat tickets. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person down here. Now, if you want to write to me, here's my address coming up, Wally George, P.O. Box 787, Hollywood, California, 90078. Wherever you are across America, write to me. Tell me what channel you're watching us on in your particular city or your particular country, and let us know. We'll be glad to mail you out a free autographed picture, personally autographed to you. And by the way, if you're in the area, if you're over 18, you want to come down and challenge me and debate me face-to-face sometime on the hot seat, let me know, and maybe I'll invite you to come down and take me on. Be sure to include your telephone number if you want to challenge me face-to-face on the hot seat. P.O. Box 787, Hollywood, California, 90078. Zip. Now, before I get back to this idiot, Reverend Bud Green, let me correct myself. I made a terrible error at the end of the last segment.
Must have been a Freudian slip.
No, it wasn't. No, I've been inhaling some of his fumes over here, you know. I mean, his whole body smells like one big joint, you know. Now, what I said at the end of the last segment is the four animals who beat Rodney King should spend the rest of their lives in jail.
They should.
I did not mean that. I meant the 4 animals who beat up Reginald Denny should spend the rest of their lives in jail. That's what I meant. So thank God I remembered to correct myself. Now we are here with the Reverend Bud Green of the Religion of Drugs. Now. You are planning a tour of the country with this idiot El Duce to promote rioting and looting in America. Can you believe that? What are you going to do on this tour?
Well, we're going to be touring around the U.S. and we hope to cause riots and looting wherever we go to overthrow the. So the reason, Wally.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait.
Hold on. The reason we want to do it.
Wait. Hey, let's find out where he lives and burn his house down. Okay, now hold on. What's the reason you're going to do that?
All right, the reason we want to do that is to spark a revolution in this country to get rid of rich pigs like George Bush and Dan Quayle.
Oh, you idiot.
Now, Wally.
Hey, who would you like to see in the White House, moron?
Well, me and El Duce are running in '96.
Oh, jeez.
Now, Wally, we also have something going on here in L.A.
Oh yeah. Oh, wait. Hey, get this. These guys are going to stage a benefit to raise money for the looters. Oh, gee. Is that right?
That's right.
Tell me about this.
We're doing...
Let him tell you about this.
We're doing a benefit concert Saturday, June 20th at the Central in Hollywood, and all the money is going to go to the defense of the people caught looting, because like I said, when a rich pig loots an SNL, that's okay. But when a poor man takes what his, it's not. It's time for the poor people to rise up and steal from the rich.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you something right now. Those were not poor people who got involved in the rioting, looting. Those were thugs who used the riot as an excuse to go in there and riot and loot.
Wally, some people took electronic equipment, some people took TVs.
And sold it,
right.
Sure.
And some people took diapers, but you know what? It was a thought that counted.
Oh, sure, the thought. Yeah, and the thought was, hey, here's a riot going on. Let's go down and get ours. That was not.
That's right.
Wait.
When your rich big friends want theirs, it's okay.
Don't yell at me. those were not the poor people who were doing the rioting and looting. Those were the thugs and criminals and gang members, right? Now, do you want to also raise money for the legal defense for those 4 guys who beat Reginald Denny?
I tell you why we are, because you notice that when Rodney King's beaters were put in jail, they didn't file any federal civil rights charges. As soon as they put the 4 people in for beating Reginald Denny, boom, the federal government was right there with civil rights charges.
Well,
why are they going to do that for Reginald Denny and not for Rodney King? I'll tell you why. Reginald Denny's white, Rodney King's black.
Oh,
it's racism.
All right, answer me this. Hey, I think they've been very fair to Rodney King. Answer me this, if you can. Rodney King broke a lot of laws. He broke his probation. He was trying to avoid arrest. He led the police on a wild chase where he could have killed people. I want to know, why haven't charges been filed against Rodney King? He broke a lot of laws, Norm.
Well,
why haven't charges been filed against him?
Well, I'll tell you one thing we found. Remember, he was caught with a transvestite a few months later? We found out that the LAPD set up that transvestite. You know who that transvestite was? Chief Daryl Gates in drag.
Oh. Hey, the truth of the matter is, that transvestite is Norm's girlfriend. Okay, let's go to the audience. And bring up some questions. Yes, can I have your name, please?
Yeah, I'm Mike from Whittier.
Yes, Mike.
And I'd like to ask Reverend Bud Green, with such a serious topic like drug religion, why would you come on such a communist show like the Wally George Show?
Get off.
That's a good question. I'll tell you.
Never mind.
Well,
next.
if I had never gotten on Wally, I wouldn't have been on Geraldo, so I have to thank Wally for that.
Hey, this guy also is brain dead, and you may leave the studio at the end of this segment, pal, okay? Go ahead.
My name's Mike from Orange, and I was wondering why you're ignoring the true rebellion, the rebellion against a scum like you and a cleanup effort.
Yeah, right on.
And that cleanup effort isn't done because you're still here.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm not the scum. George Bush, your hero's the real scum.
Next, yes, okay, yes.
My name is Bobby Lou from Kennedy High School. Do you think legalizing drugs will benefit America?
I think the marijuana will. We want to see alcohol made illegal and marijuana made the only legal drug.
Okay, thank you very much. Next.
Cocaine. Yeah, my name's Mike, and I want to ask you, if you think it was such a great thing for them to do in L.A., then how come they're burning up their own cities? Why don't they go somewhere else to do it so they still have a place to go back to?
Well,
and you know what else?
The thing was, if they tried to burn Beverly Hills, they wouldn't have been allowed. You got to burn your own town down. That's the whole thing.
Hey, you know what I'm going to do? Hey, right now, I'm gonna burn this guy's buns in about 5 seconds. They only got it. Yes, go ahead.
Before I leave, as you always throw me off, I want to bring my special guest out here tonight. I'm glad to present to you Rodney King.
Oh, come on. That's not Rodney King, you idiot.
It is. No, Rodney, I know. Wait a second. Rodney, I know that the pigs made you say that stuff about, can we all get along? What do you really want to tell the people of L.A.?
I meant it. I think that all of us people here in L.A. ought to try to get along, and I think we should all get together.
Wait a minute.
Burn this damn
Get him out of here. Get him. A.K.A. Norm Lubow, head of the religion of drugs. He came on the show to tell me that he has inside information that Nancy Reagan really did take drugs. Watch. Just say yes. Can you believe that? Now, I understand, Reverend, that you told me backstage, and I've heard around, that you have inside information where you know that Nancy Reagan did indeed smoke pot. Oh, come on. Now how can you walk look around.
Well,
What kind of information do you
I'll tell you
have?
what we have, Wally. One of the members of our religion was at that pot party that Kitty Kelly talked about.
Oh.
Not only did they smoke pot, but they said that Nancy Reagan just kept on hitting it and hitting it.
Now, you're saying one of the members of your religion was at the same party with Nancy Reagan?
That's right, because I have spies.
Can you believe anybody... Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Can you believe anybody associated with him would be invited to a party with Nancy Reagan?
Well, you know why? You know why they were invited, Wally? They're the guys who brought the marijuana.
Oh, come on. You can't... You see, it's people like you, scumbags like you, who are trying to drag decent, honest, wonderful people like Ronald and Nancy Reagan down into the gutter with you. And I'll tell you what, Norm, or Bud.
Reverend Bud.
Reverend Bud. Do you know why? Do you know why he's doing what he's doing? Because he is a loser. That's why. You see, Bud?
No, Wally, you got that wrong, because anybody with the killer green like I have is a winner.
No way. You see, people like you try to be successes in life. You try to get a career going, and you fail, and you can't make anything of yourself. So what do? You turn to drugs, and you roll in the gutter with a bunch of scum, because you don't know how to be a winner. And I say, people like you are a disgrace to the decent people of America.
Hey, Wally, let me tell people one thing here. We don't only advocate marijuana, we also advocate nonviolent revolution, because when you smoke the marijuana, you see how corrupt the rich pigs that control this country. Look at George Adolph Bush. He's already had 2 wars. He's already had 2 wars. He's ready to sacrifice you for war number 3.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hey, what about that war? We won that war in 100 hours of fighting.
Wally, we won it all right. We killed 200,000 women and children. We won it all right.
Hold on. If it hadn't been for George Bush, we would have lost several thousand Americans, and thank God for George Bush, because we had practically no casualties at all. And you know what? It was people like the Reverend Bud Green who were predicting when we went into this war. I had you on the show when the war started, and I wish I could play you the tape back, he predicted this was going to be another Vietnam that was going to go on for years, and he predicted that we'd be bringing back thousands of American soldiers in body bags. Well, obviously, he didn't know what in the hell he was talking about. In your particular city around the nation. Okay, now it's time to bring back on the program this idiot that has been on throughout the years, and the reason I brought him back on this show is because he is not only defending Ice-T, but he's doing a show with Ice-T. Here's the head of the religion of drugs, Bud Green.
Reverend Bud Green.
You know what? You and that last bunch of losers, the last roundup, hey, these guys should team up. They belong together, don't they? Have you guys ever worked together?
Yeah, we just met backstage, and we were smoking a joint, and we just planned to do a show together.
Yeah. You know what? They not only look alike, they smell alike, too. You know? Boy, I wish you aren't as close to this germ as I am. I'll tell you, somebody turned the air conditioning on. This guy smells like a rodent.
Wally, what you smell is my T-shirt. It's scratch and sniff.
Oh, yeah. Now, you actually are going to be teaming up with Ice-T to do a show here in Los Angeles?
That's right, Wally. Friday, July 24th.
There is no addresses on this program.
We're playing at the Electric Ballroom.
You understand what I'm telling you? There is no
address.
Dates. No dates.
Electric Ballroom in North Hollywood. We're opening up, not just for Ice-T, but Ice-T's hard rock band.
Don't mention the date. Just mention the day.
It's Ice-T's heavy metal band, which is called Body Count, which is what...
You know,
and just so you know, Ice-T isn't just a rapper. He's also got the heavy metal thrash band, and this is a thrash song, not a rap song that people are talking about.
What really is so disgusting and sickening about this Ice-T, and you should be working with Ice-T because you are just as ludicrous and filthy and rotten as he is.
He's a great revolutionary, Wally, and so am I.
Come on. You know, I say Ice-T is a loser and a lousy influence on America. Now, let me tell you this.
He's a great American, Wally.
Here, these cop killer lyrics, I'm going to hold it down the orange, please.
Oh, no, Wally, I'll do it better for you.
No,
I got my 12-gauge sawed off. I got my headlights turned off. I'm about to bust some shots off. I'm about to dust some pigs off.
Oh, boy. You think that's funny, don't you, pal? You know?
Well, you know what, Wally?
Somebody should dust him off!
Why are you mad about Ice-T? You call people slime and scum all the time.
I never encourage anybody to kill anybody, and in this record it says, "Die, pigs, die. I'm going to dust some cops off." And, you know, this Time Warner Company, they are such idiots. You know what they did? They got on the bandwagon here for this Ice-T cop killer song, and they are delivering the record to disc jockeys around the country in miniature body bags. Now, I'll tell you, that is really... Is that sick or what?
Well, you know what, Wally?
That is really sick.
I know, but you know what the name of the band is? Body Count. That stands for the amount of people who die in the ghetto every year. That's what's sick. The violence that the pigs perpetrate on the people in the ghetto.
When you say on a record, "Die, pigs, die," encouraging kids or anybody to kill cops, and then this stupid Time Warner sends out the record to disc jockeys in body bags, I say they're disgusting. And I just wonder this. You know, if everyone like you and these idiots before you and Ice-T, everybody says it's okay to say on a record, "Die, pigs, die, kill cops." What if someone made a record that said, "Die, Jew, die," or "Die, blacks, die," or "Kill a woman"? I wonder, would you approve of that too?
I thought you put it on your record.
Oh, yeah, funny. Would you approve? What if someone made a record? What if someone had a record say, "Die, Jew, die"? Would you approve of that?
Well, I mean, it's all freedom of speech, Wally. I'm sure I'm sure it's been done before.
That's
put it that
an
way.
invasion of the freedom of speech in America. When you know, it's against the law to incite a riot. Anybody in a crowded room, if you yell "fire" in a crowded auditorium, you can be arrested for inciting a riot or a stampede. And so I say, people like Ice-T and Time Warner who are inciting people to kill cops, "Die, pigs, die," that's incitement, and that should be against the law also, shouldn't it?
Wally, nobody goes out from these shows and goes to kill a cop. It's all a way to get out your aggression. That's all it is.
I don't care.
And you know what? At the shows, you know what song gets the biggest cheer? Cop Killer.
Of course.
Because people hate the cops.
No, they don't. No, they don't. The average American does not hate the cops. You people...
But the average youth does.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
But they're not going to kill the cops. It's a healthy way to get out of your aggression.
Hey, you are a brain-dead idiot. I get mail from young teenagers all over America, thousands of them, and I want to tell you the vast majority of them do not like what Ice-T is doing. They do not hate cops. It's people like you who are trying to make us believe that they do, but the average American youth are good Americans, and they don't want to kill anybody.
What about the Persian Gulf War, Wally?
It's
okay to kill Saddam, but not to kill other people, right?
You bet your damn life it is, because Saddam, Are you trying to compare Saddam Hussein to our police officers?
If the shoe fits, wear it.
Hey, Willie. Hey, here's something that really suits me. You're out of here.
No! You should!
Now it's time to introduce our last guest, and David Kennedy kindly gave up his chair so we could, I don't know why he did, because, I'll tell you, hold it. So, we introduce now, back on our show, and the only reason I have him back now is because he's getting into worse and worse things, Norm Lubow of the Religion of Drugs.
Can I say something, Wally? I want to make sure that you're right. We shouldn't advertise cigarettes. We should be advertising buds on TV.
You may think you're really smart, Lubow, but you're not. You are the scum of the earth. Look at me.
Hey, Wally. No. Coming from you, I'll take that as a compliment.
Listen to me. You are a rodent. You are a filthy, vile scum. And I hope to God someday they lock you up for the rest of your life. Now I'll tell you what. You are going around this country to schools trying to induce young teenagers to get into drugs so they can be filthy and rotten like you are.
Let me tell you, Wally, I take a lot of pride.
Let go of the microphone. Right. I don't want germs on my microphone.
I take a lot of pride in my appearance because what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter what you look like, it's what you think. And what we think is revolution. But we're going to overthrow you, Wally. You're the scum. We're going to overthrow you.
You know, for anyone to get... Hey, you know what? It isn't only that you come into this studio looking bad, but you smell like hell. I have news for you. You see, hey,
Wally, hold on. That was my aftershave cologne, Ode to Indica.
Yeah. You see, just hold it. You see, we have decent young people across this country, and we have the President of the United States who is trying to stop the drugging of America, especially the young people in America, and for you to take it upon yourself to try to induce these young kids to getting into drugs, I think that is simply despicable. What do you think? Yeah! Wally, Hey, don't you realize what drugs do to people's brains, to their lives?
Let me tell you what they've done. It's pretty obvious that tonight we finally have a good crowd. These guys are pretty knowledgeable. And what the drugs do, it made these people aware, like I've told you before. It made them aware.
Hold on, wait a minute. Don't try to say that my audience is on drugs. They're not on drugs. The people in this audience are clean. They're good Americans. Am I right?
Hey, I'm a good American, Wally.
Wait. Hey, hold on. Don't be a smartass.
Hey, hold on. If Reagan did smoke bud, he would be
wait a minute. Before our show is over, what other glorious adventure are you in now besides spreading the word of drugs?
No. We don't use coke. What we're doing now is we're getting into pornography. We're going to make a political pornography film. This is why I brought in Cinnamon tonight. She's going to be my co-writer and co-star in the film. And
hold on.
It's like Wally. She'll have to buy the video.
Oh, hold on. Your name is Cinnamon? Yeah. How in the world did you get involved with an idiot moron like him?
Wasn't good like that. No. I'm an open-minded person. I don't judge people by the way they look, and I have a lot of creative endeavors that I'm involved in. And when I met...
Wait a minute. Do you appear in X-rated pornographic films?
I've done a couple of them. I've done more R-rated and regular legitimate type.
Do you appear in porno films?
2 of them.
You have appeared in. Well then, you both deserve each other, and both of you are out of here.
Tell me who you are and what you have to say.
My name's Anthony, and I can't see your eyes. Are you stoned now?
I've worshipped the Lord before, yes.
How many hours a day do you stay high?
I try to worship 2 or 3 times a day because you know what? You can never worship God too many times.
Questions? Yeah. But you claim by smoking marijuana that's a sacrament?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's from God. It comes directly from the earth. Let me quote the Bible here. Genesis 1:29, it says, "And God said, ye shall partake of every herb-bearing seed." That's what marijuana is, an herb-bearing seed.
Yes, but we know that herb-bearing seeds can cloud the mind. So you don't do that.
It enlightens you, John. Again, we're talking about poverty and racism. You know why I'm aware of it? Because I smoke marijuana. Most people in this audience are just going to ignore things like that.
I think everybody's aware of this. I think every single person in this country now is aware of it.
What you're trying to do is get stoned and ignore it.
How are you helping? Are you giving your income to these people?
Yes, when we see homeless people, I'll stop there, I'll give them some money, I'll smoke a joint with them, I'll show them what's going on.
Well, it's a way. Hold on, yes.
80%, Joan, if I could add here, 80% of the kids who start using marijuana are going to also use harder drugs. These are
What do you say about that, Bud? What do you say about that?
I think it's a bunch of bull. You know,
look at the statistics.
Have you used other drugs?
No, I haven't. All I do is smoke marijuana and take magic mushrooms.
There's a Bible on my table. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. That's no problem. That's all I do.
Yes, you have a question.
Yes, what about the scripture that speaks about keeping the body clean and being of no defilement whatsoever? That means if you believe in the Bible and if you're a true reverend, like you say you are, you would apply that scripture in your life and you wouldn't be trying to give marijuana to other people.
Well, I am a true reverend. Let me show you the prayer that we do. John, I'd like to show people the prayer that we do when we smoke the herb. I say, I want to thank the Lord for giving me the holy herb, which shows me the need for a revolution to overthrow right-wing rich pigs like George Bush and Dan Quayle.
But you're not doing it the right way.
This guy needs to be arrested as soon as he walks out of the studio. He needs to be arrested.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
Yes, now, here, wait.
But John, I really like to take a minute here and talk.
Because I don't understand if you have smoking and non-smoking in restaurants. I don't want to smell this, so why should he be able to do this?
John, this man is crying for help. This man is crying for help. He is like many kids in this country today who are on drugs. He's sitting here. He's crying for help.
No, what I'm crying for is I'm crying for revolution. I think that we have to change this country. It's corrupt and evil. It's because of people like you who want to talk about drugs.
We have to change the country, but I think the way you're doing it is insane.
Well,
just
it's like
insane.
We all have our own
We'll be right back. Listen to this juxtaposition with Richard Simmons. Drug, and that someone was sitting here smoking in my studio. I am so angry because that isn't the answer to anything. Let me just tell you, that's not the answer to fixing this nation up. Anyhow, on to the next.
Boy, you are in for it today. We are going to meet a guy who steals from the rich and gives to the poor. He calls himself a modern-day Robin Hood. We're going to find out why he does it, what it feels like doing it. Meet Reverend Bud Green. During the Los Angeles riots, Reverend Green looted stores and destroyed property. The items he stole he either gave away to the poor or sold and gave the money to the poor. Now he continues to steal from the rich and gives to the poor. Tell us how this all began.
Well, I've always been kind of a looter in that I always try to take what I don't buy for, because the rich people, they control the poor people. We're being exploited. So if you can get away with stealing from the rich people, that's good. That's godly, I'm trying to tell people.
Well, it's certainly not, thou shalt not steal. It's certainly not...
Well, the Lord also says, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. So I play the role of taking for the Lord.
Well, if the good Lord's going to... I don't want to get into a Bible argument here, but if the good Lord's going to take, let him take. He doesn't need any aids.
Well, we're his helpers, Jerry.
Well, obviously, society cannot exist if people go around and say, I think I'm going to take whatever I want. Because if everybody would take, then obviously you have total chaos, and then the poor would even be worse off than now, because the rich would be more powerful to be able to take more.
But Jerry, that's only the argument for the poor. When the rich loot the S&Ls, it's okay. But when the poor take some diapers from the neighborhood store, that's a crime. That's what I'm trying to say is hypocritical.
Well, why don't we agree that no taking is okay?
Because the rich have gotten rich by stealing from the poor. That's how you get rich. You capitalize on the misfortune of other people. That's why it's called capitalism. So the job of the poor is to steal back what the rich have stolen from them.
Well, obviously, most of us don't agree with you. But let's now go into what you do. How do you steal?
Well,
and are you sure you're not the Lone Ranger? What the heck is... I mean...
I'm a modern-day Robin Hood, so we have to be more modern.
Yeah, but he didn't wear a mask. Why are you wearing a mask?
Well, I'm afraid to show my true face because, as you know, for the looters in L.A., they're trying to get people 6 months to a year in jail if they're caught looting.
Well, why, if you committed a crime and you're on television now admitting to a crime, and I assume you're being sincere, why shouldn't you go to jail? You committed a crime.
Because I'm a freedom fighter, Jerry, and there should be amnesty for all the people involved in the riots, because the riots weren't an act of anarchy. They were an act of rebellion. That's what we're trying to tell people. It's a rich rebellion against the poor.
What did you do during the riots?
Well, we stole things from like electronic stores, hardware stores, things like that, things that we could sell and then use the money to give to the poor.
Some of the people you stole from were poor themselves.
Not at all. If you own a store, you're definitely richer than most people. So if you have that's very true though. Even if, a lot of times we try to steal from the major chain stores. So these people are ultra rich. But even as you saw from the Korean merchants who live in the black communities, the Korean merchants are getting rich off the black people. So that was justified as well.
So you have been anointed as one that is allowed to go around and steal.
That's right. I'm going to quote from the Bible here to show you that it is
You can quote that
justified.
Bible in jail, though, can't you? Because you violated the law. Why shouldn't you go to jail?
I violated man's law, but I obeyed God's law.
So go to man's jail, not God's jail.
Well, let me show you. Let me show you what God has to say on the subject of rioting and looting. This is Revelations 18:9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with Babylon, which stands for L.A., shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Okay, first of all...
No, one more.
I doubt that Babylon would be the same as the City of Angels, which is what Los Angeles is.
Well, we all know they call it Hollywood Babylon. It's another name for it. Let me quote one more thing, though.
One more.
Revelations 18:11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. That is advocating looting.
Well, that's a strange interpretation. Let me just say, so one, you took, what do you take? You stole VCRs, what else you do?
Well, I'm in a rock band, which is called Just Say Yes. So we stole music equipment, things like that, things that we could use.
Well, that's something the poor need. They're starving to death and you're...
Well, I took for the poor, and we also took for the rock band, because what I'm doing with my music is I'm expressing the truth to the poor.
So you stole for yourself?
And for the poor.
Well,
I took a boombox for myself so I could play the music as we're walking down the street.
If we buy your philosophy, then everybody is allowed to steal that has a cause.
Exactly.
Well, if everybody's allowed to steal, then obviously the survivors will only be the strongest.
Well,
Is that the kind of world you're advocating? What kind of religion is that?
Well, the world is already based on the strongest. We're trying to tell the poor people to rise up. That's the only way we can, Jerry.
Okay.
We have no voice. We have no say. We have to burn to make them pay.
The riots are now over. What are you doing now?
Well, we're still trying to advocate what's going on, looting. We're doing a series of benefit concerts, my band, for the people who got caught looting to help them get out of jail.
You know, we're kind of snickering here, but do you understand when you go on television and you say, we advocate rioting, we advocate looting, we advocate breaking the law, that you, in a sense, you in fact are breaking the law yourself?
I know damn well, but like I said, that's an unjust law, and I have no problem breaking that law.
Tell the judge. Tell the judge.
Well, the judges are all paid off by the rich people anyway. How come Mike Tyson goes to jail and William Kennedy Smith doesn't? Because he's white and he's rich, even though Mike Tyson had money because he's black, he went to jail.
Tell me about the well, I'm not even going to, I mean, that's
part of it, though. The justice system, as we all know, Rodney King, if Rodney King had been white, the 4 officers would have gone to jail. Because he's black, they got off.
We may very well, there may be those that very well agree of the injustice of the Rodney King case. Flat out, we agree with that. But that does not translate, because of that injustice, therefore, you, white Bud Green, can go out into somebody's, let me finish, can go into somebody's store for items that they purchased and take it for your band. I'm sorry, I'm pretty liberal. For my band and
for the people. In fact, I've got some money that I looted here that we sold the merchandise with, and I'd like to spread some of the money to the people who may need some money here in this town.
Well, this is receiving stolen property, so don't take it.
Who wants some? Go ahead and grab from the Reverend Bud. This is money that's been gotten by the rich pigs. It's your duty to take it because it's unjust money that they had gotten.
Okay. Let me suggest. Okay. Okay, have a seat. Take $1 back. You're going to need it for your equipment. Now. Yeah, let me suggest.
Well, hey, hold on.
Let me suggest.
Hey, don't throw the money at me. Throw it at rich pigs like Dan Quayle who stole it. I didn't steal it.
Okay, what I would suggest is that those that have picked up the money not take it, because if he's been on television saying that he stole it, then you're receiving stolen property. You don't want to be doing that, so leave the money there. Now,
you know what that proves, Jerry?
Is this telemarketing scheme? What's this telemarketing scheme you've got?
Well, I have done telemarketing before. In fact, we've done it for the police organizations.
Yeah.
Because everybody who knows telemarketing is a very corrupt industry. So somebody like me with long hair and a beard who can't get a regular job, I have done telemarketing before, raising money under the guise of for the police, which is legal. Part of it does go to the pigs, but the bulk of it goes to people like me who are trying to use the money to overthrow the pigs. So I feel really good about that.
Why, first of all, why would you call police officers pigs?
Because they are pigs.
When they're human beings, you may not like what they do, but look at you. I mean, what you're doing...
They call themselves pigs, did you know?
What you're doing is totally dishonest. What you're doing is saying to all the people around you, I don't respect you enough to even tell you the truth. I will take your money if I can, no matter how hard you work for it, no matter how hard you study to get ahead, to be the best person you know how to be.
Wait, don't buy that American dream stuff, Jerry. You were the mayor of Cincinnati. You were part of that corrupt higher class. I feel good taking from people like you. That's not wrong. That's good.
Okay. Well, your political judgment may be right, but there is no basis to anybody for you going to anointing yourself that you can take money from anybody else that you didn't work for, that isn't yours. You are, if we're talking about anybody being a pig, I'm looking at one right now.
Well,
I'm not even gutsy enough. If you believed what you said, I
believe it fully, and I'm not a pig.
Then you would have the guts to take off that hat and take off that mask and show people who you are, to have the courage of your convictions. Well, let's see who you are.
I'll wait.
Because I tell you what, I can be brave if nobody knows what I'm saying. I can hide on a telephone and make up a scam to get people's money if I'm not brave enough. But Robin Hood was brave enough to stand up and say what he believed in.
Well, I tell you what, I will show my face before the end of the show. I prefer to be masked right now, but I will let you see who I am. I've been on a lot of TV shows anyway, so I think a lot of people have seen me before
So if the police are watching, they know where to find Bud Green.
Tell them to look for Bud Green.
Who now on television admits that he stole and looted.
They know where to look for Bud Green. I'll be on any street corner exhorting the poor people to rise up against the rich people. I have my band. We'll be in the clubs advocating revolution. That's where they're going to find Reverend Bud Green.
Are you a good musician?
I'm more of a revolutionary musician, but I'm proud of it because my music is designed to let people know what's going on. We have a great song called Burn the Flag, which is about how corrupt this flag is.
When we come back, meet Deborah McGee. She says, I'm poor, but I don't want the Reverend's handouts. It's stolen merchandise, and he should be put in jail. With her is Tom Cordish. He says, I'm one paycheck from being homeless, but I don't need the Reverend's handouts. Being a Christian, he also says, where in the Bible does it say steal? And with him is Jack Baker. He says the Reverend's handouts saved his life, and now he is joined in Robin Hood's fight against the rich. He now calls himself an African American on a Caucasian safari. What does that mean?
What that means is when the rioting broke out in Los Angeles, April 29th, I was one of the people who used to believe that this country stood for justice for all people. I stood on the corner of Wilcox and Hollywood Boulevard advocating the people to rise up and tear this sucker down. And I noticed that most of the natives that were restless were white natives. And they went out and they tore it down and they looted and they stole. And so here I am, a missionary to those people. This rainbow coalition that Jesse Jackson always talks about is more than just black people. The news tried to make it seem like most of the people that were rioting were black people, that it was all in the black areas, but they tried to burn down all of Los Angeles, and it was mostly young white kids, and I say more power to them.
You hear this, what is your reaction?
Outrage.
Yes.
It should never have happened. It should never have happened. God did not tell you to go out, steal this, take this, because you know he did not. Because you wanted to give it from the rich to the poor.
Exactly.
He did not tell you to do this.
This country was founded by people who
that
did
makes
those
no
things.
difference. That makes no difference. It makes no difference. You cannot go out and steal something.
Okay, let her finish.
Oh,
right. Yes, you
no,
can.
you can't.
Oh, yes, you can.
How?
We've already done it.
I know. You done
Let
it and it was against the law. All right?
Man's law, not
Against
God's law.
whose law?
But hey, you're supposed to be with God, right?
God says he's supposed to take care of everybody.
Okay.
No, you're not. If you're with God,
One at a
let's
time.
unmask. Let me see you. Let this crowd see you.
God says it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich pig to go to heaven.
Well, you're not going there either. You are destined for hell.
No, I'm not.
You are destined for hell. And that's where you will go.
I'm doing God's work.
No, you're not
on
doing
earth.
God's work. You're doing your own work.
Yeah.
That's the work you're doing.
I'm doing God's
Your
work.
work.
Okay.
It's only your work.
Now, what's your reaction to this?
I'm amused.
By idiots. By idiots.
I can't believe that a reverend can misquote the Bible so poorly.
Read it right here. You want to read the
He's
passage
a street
yourself?
reverend.
Wait a
He's
second,
not
did you
a
steal
reverend.
that Bible?
I looted it from the hotel.
From,
All right.
From a hotel here?
Yeah.
Let's assume.
Arrest me if you will.
Okay. Is there
police in the
anything?
house?
Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
It's just amazing. It's also written that the devil comes to steal, rob, and destroy.
Well, you know what they called Ronald Reagan? Reagan Hood, because he stole from the poor and gave it to the rich. It's time for Robin Hood to come back and steal from the rich and give to the poor.
You're not Robin Hood.
I'm a modern day Robin.
You're not Robin Hood. You're not a modern day Robin Hood. You are just a thief at heart, and that's all it is.
Let's look at hold on. Why is Robin Hood a hero? He stole from the rich and gave to the poor. That's what I'm doing. Why am I
You're
bad?
not a
Robin Hood's a
hero.
Hey,
just
wake up!
thief.
Wake up! It's a movie.
Yeah,
Well, it's
that
a
was a
band.
movie. That's right, that was a movie.
It's an old folk tale.
You're just a big joke.
I would just like to know, he said he robbed from the rich, and whatever you looted, you sold so you could get money to give to the poor.
helped Jack get a
What
place to
in the
live.
hell? Did you sell that back to the rich?
To the pawn shops, yeah.
Well, does that make any sense? That's...
Exactly, because the rich don't care. They'll buy stolen merchandise.
And-
That's how they get rich.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
That's how they get rich. They buy the stolen merchandise at a small fraction of what it's really worth.
But that's not what you stated. You stated you rob from the rich and give to the poor.
That's what I did.
But no, how? You just stated that you sold it to the rich.
Right.
Yeah,
he sells it back to the rich.
Yeah. I bet that money's in your pocket.
How did the Reverend... Tell me specifically how the Reverend... And I'm calling you a Reverend simply because you want to be called one, not because you have met any requirements to be one.
I'm ordained
Me and
by
the
God,
Reverend
Jerry.
were standing in an electronics store.
Yes.
And stole something.
And then, will you wait a minute, lady? Look, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. You've been
That
talking
you
and
are a
yakking your
thief.
mouth.
That's the benefit of
You
the doubt.
are a big mouth.
That's all right.
Now,
Okay. She's also got a very large thumbnail. Let me just see it. Those are huge. Okay, so watch yourself. Now go ahead. Talk.
those of us that became a part of Reverend Bud's Merry Men, as we call ourselves now, We took the merchandise from the electronics store, we turned it into pawn shops, and anybody else that would buy it, and we fed our families, we put roofs over our heads. That's what we did with the money.
But you understand that if everybody does it, I mean, you did it, and you figure, fine, I got away with it. We'll see if you get away with it. But let's say you do. But everybody, then suddenly everybody says that. And then all of a sudden you have nothing but 250 million people running around stealing from each other. The society isn't going to stand for just you being allowed to steal. If you say that running into somebody's store, grabbing something and not paying for it is okay, then everybody suddenly can do it. We will have no more stores. We will have nobody doing anything anymore. All they will do is try and steal. The world doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that.
But they think they do. Well, Jerry, how come 1% of the population owns over 90% of the wealth? That's looting right there.
I'm not here to say that any political system is perfect. What we're talking about is whether it's okay under any system to say, I want, therefore I will take and screw everybody else. The good Reverend, that's not the way life works.
Why doesn't
and God
the system
doesn't want
do
us to
something
do that
about sharing the wealth? Then?
Right.
Why not? You know, why can't we get a living? Why can't we get a living minimum wage?
Sir, why don't you get a job?
Lady, I want to tell you something. Before I was out stealing, I've been a producer, a director, a writer. I'm Jack Baker. They call me a jack of all trades because I am very well educated. And I know how to do a whole bunch of things, but I can't get a job. I can't get a job. I can't get a job.
You would not be in cahoots with him. You can get a job. You can go to the dishwasher job.
And all you do is pay lip service to a lot of American dreams that aren't happening.
One at a time.
You are among the mindless followers. You are mindless.
And you are a thief.
You are mindless.
Okay, now we can't hear either.
Jerry,
all right.
Jerry, we didn't steal the merchandise. We liberated the merchandise.
You didn't steal it?
We liberated.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're smart. Have you ever heard of the French Revolution, the poor stealing from the rich, and then there was complete anarchy? People were killed. I mean, why don't you just learn from history? This is not smart. Why don't you just get a job? If you're, if you're so poor, get a job.
They're not smart enough to go out and get a job. They figure they can go in and they can steal.
I told you, lady, there are no jobs.
We have 10% employment.
All kinds of fields.
One at a time. Time out. Wait 1 second.
Job? Can't you keep a job then? Is it our fault that you can't keep a job so you have to steal from us? We're not rich.
Can't keep a job, lady. It's not can't keep a
that's
job.
right.
So you don't want a job.
Can't earn an honest living, that's the problem.
You can earn
I made a film in September of last year that I can't even sell.
Well, maybe, 1 second, maybe the people don't like the movie. Hey, you know, that could be it. You made a film, they didn't like it. So then you try again. Lots of people try. You bake bread, they don't like the bread, you got to bake another loaf. You know, welcome to the real world. You got to be able to produce something that people want.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Well, that's a pretty simplistic way to look at it.
I was just going to say the same thing
this lady did.
Wrong,
we have a right to make it right.
If they are so concerned about the poor, why don't they make an honest living, make some of their own money, and give their own money away?
Why? When they can steal it from the rich. They're stealing it from the rich.
Because the rich pigs who control this country, like George Bush and Dan Quayle, won't let the poor people make an honest living.
If you were
it's
both
called
so
trickle-down
educated,
economics.
Okay.
Rich people piss on us, and they want us to drink their piss. That's what the trickle-down is.
All right, clean it up. Clean it up.
I work for a human service agency, and I spend a lot of my time raising money. And a lot of the agency that I work at spends a huge amount of time raising money. And I don't condone this, but what's really funny to me is how I get so frustrated sometimes having to write grants, and I sit in meetings with people, you know, and have to prove and do all kinds of songs and dances to prove to them that what we do at our agency is important. That, you know,
you can understand the anger, the frustration. You don't approve of the means, but you understand the anger. Well, I think a lot of people understand the anger. And I think there's some response, perhaps not right. I think what we're talking about today, whether stealing is the proper response. No one is suggesting that we don't have a problem here. The fact that there's so many people of low income or no income in our society, no one's belittling that. Today's show is about whether the response to poverty is, hey, everybody, grab what you can, to hell with anybody else. And okay, I'm going to have you, and then I need to go to question and break, and I'll be right back to you.
Okay, I can't believe the Reverend Bud or you really think stealing is the answer. And I'd like to ask you, did you go to University of California? I'll bet you are college educated.
I am, and what I learned at college is that it's a white
you did not come
capitalist
from
culture
poor
that controls this
circumstances.
country.
Did you come from poor circumstances?
I came from middle class suburbia.
That's all I wanted to know.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to meet a man who says there's opportunity for everybody in America. We'll be right back.